But what about the Pentagon?
Pentagon? What is it?
Hey, what happened?
Dead.
What's up guys and girls, my name's A from Games Rep, and today we're looking at a nice port slash, well, I would have said homebrew, but it's definitely not a homebrew. This is going to be a port of, that's right, Metal Gear Solid on the Sega Dreamcast. That's right, we now play it on the Sega Dreamcast. My god, it handles it well. I think you're going to love this. Take a look. So here it is, this is Konami's 1996 smash hit, now on the Sega Dreamcast. And in fact, I'd probably go as far as to say most people that had a PlayStation 1 got the PlayStation 1 just because they saw this. Unlucky for me, I didn't have a PlayStation, I had a Sega Dreamcast, but now we can finally play it.
I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
So straight off the bat, let's talk about the graphics. My god, this looks beautiful. I mean, just imagine this on a Dreamcast with an HDMI connection. Fuck me, that would look amazing. I'm just playing on AV. And just remember, this game actually got released in 1996. So that was, wait for it, 22 years ago. So when you think the time they put into the shadowing, the graphics, the textures of this game, and to pull it all off on a PlayStation 1, that's no mean feat, as well as the sound design. Let's just remember, you're listening to the soundtrack here. This is CD quality soundtrack, all pumped on to a couple discs. That is one real hard task, and they've done it, and it's on the Sega Dreamcast. And I suppose you can probably tell why there's been so many sequels to Metal Gear. And let's face it, Metal Gear was originally on the Famicom in Japan. That's where it all started. And now we're on the PlayStation 4 and it's still going. And the one main reason I believe is through the supreme storytelling, more than anything else, that Konami seem to pull off time and time again. And in fact, it just leaves you wanting more. It leaves you literally thinking, fuck me, what is around the corner? Well, let's take a look, shall we?
D. Colonel, what's a Russian gunship doing here?
I have no idea, but it looks like our little diversion got their attention. Now's your best chance to slip in unnoticed.
So now the story's off and running, let's get on and actually review Metal Gear Solid for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, I played this for about, I don't know, about an hour, hour and a half, so I had a bit of time to get used to the controls. And I gotta say, in the main part, it actually transferred really well. The actual analog stick on the Dreamcast and the shoulder buttons and all that, they all kind of worked well together. But there's a couple bits that didn't. For example, you're probably going to remember this, in the start of the game where you're actually in the cargo bay, where you just go around snapping necks. I could not do that. I don't know how on earth it just didn't work. It just seemed that the mapping or the buttons or something just didn't quite port over as it should. Which is a shame, because at the end of the day you don't always have a gun at your side. As you can see, for the first 45 minutes to an hour of this game, there is no gun. And that is a bit of a hindrance. Now, when you do get the gun, the controls are pretty sharp. The analog stick is actually really accurate. Far more than you'd ever get with a D-pad. So that's obviously a great feature. But when you're playing a game like this, you want every function to work. So that's a shame. And getting on to functions, we're now going to move on to the Dreamcast Vmu. Its actual way of saving gameplay. Yes, it works exactly as it would with the memory card for the PlayStation 1, exactly on the Sega Dreamcast, and works effortlessly, no issues, loads from wherever you need it to load from. And let's face it, with a game like Metal Gear Solid, you're gonna need save states, because it's a long-ass game, I'm not going to lie.
Metal Gear. It can't be.
Next up, we're going to talk about the sound. Now, the sound, like I obviously previously mentioned earlier on in this review, the sound, you can tell, it's crystal clear. I mean, this music, the sound effects, it all sets up and helps build the story. I mean, the dialogue is fantastic. It's unbelievable how a game like this, made back in 1996, 22 years ago, still is effective and looks, or sounds, just as good back then as it does now. And let's face it, it could be a game quite easily that was created now. And the sound, graphics and everything all ties in so well. Now, yeah, okay, this is clearly PS1 style graphics. That's not fooling anyone. But it was done so well in the first place that I don't think you'd really... I think you'd forget about the fact that it was created that long ago and on the PlayStation 1. It's smooth. There's no real frame rate issues here. And the mood is set so well with the lighting and the textures. I mean, what more do you want from a game?
Liquid? No, you're not.
Now, this is clearly, like I said, this is the Bleem version of Metal Gear Solid on the Sega Dreamcast. That's the way you can actually play this game on the Dreamcast. You got a boot disc, as well as two other discs. So you've got Bleem disc, which essentially is a boot disc, and then you've got your two Metal Gear Solid disc 1 and 2. So you still got the exact, well, you've got one extra, but for the main story, you've still got the exact same amount of discs. So this is no mean feat here. The guys at Bleem have done a really fantastic job at getting this over. It's really easy to burn onto discs. In fact, I'll give you a link on the guide that I use every time I burn discs. and that will tell you exactly how you can play this. And also in the description is the link to the actual ISO and disc images I used. They're all there also, so you can do this yourself and you can play hours upon hours of Metal Gear Solid on your Sega Dreamcast. Now I'm going to leave you with some more footage here from the gameplay, and I hope you've liked this review. Like and subscribe. I've been Al from Games Re-Up, and I'll see you all soon.